A little foggy this morning. Something just got lit up. What was that? I like coming over here to the light first thing in the morning every now and again and just see what's sitting on this thing, if anything. It's kind of cool. I've had a bunch of Luna moths. I've had a bunch of other moths that I haven't Googled, don't know what they are. You know what a Luna moth is because you know what a Luna moth is. You've seen them. Probably found one as a kid dead on the ground, being eaten by ants or whatever else was near it. But anyway, good morning. Since it's so soggy and wet out, and you see my shoes are already soaked, I can't cut grass today. And so we're going to come out here and try and mess with the Passat a little bit. I think, I need to check that and see how much water's in there. I think, since I left off last time with that escalated, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of time and kind of explain what's going on. I got to spray out here real bad. I got a little bit of water in here. It's no good, because now there's rust stains on my shit. Damn it. I just need to bring the stool in the house and stop messing around, pretending like it's an outside stool. So, get some of this shit out of the way. That way I can kind of move around a little bit. I still really, really desperately need to go through all here and clean, because it's an absolute mess right now. I don't know what I did with my phone holder, though. That's right, I do. I put it in the car because I didn't want to leave it out. I was like, yeah, I'll remember this. I'll come back to the car. And I did. All right. So, get you locked in here. All righty. Is that good? I feel like that's okay. I'm standing kind of close to the car, but whatever. Okay, so I don't actually remember much of what I recorded last time, but it did escalate. So I think today I'm actually going to go ahead and pull the injectors off the rail. We're going to plug in the ultrasonic cleaner and set it up on the table. I got the extension cord out already, which I guess at that point I can go ahead and just grab it. I'm going to do another run with some rubbing alcohol. I'm going to try and hit the injectors kind of hard and let them run with some heat for a little while. Although, I don't necessarily know if I want to use the alcohol. I may pour a little bit of gasoline in there. I'm not quite sure just yet. I should probably actually Google that. But anyway, minus some stuff that I couldn't necessarily get, not for lack of trying, but just lack of time. I still need to do a little bit of cleaning. The whole idea was that I was trying to get all of this stuff as clean as what I could. That way, when it came time to put it back together, I'd have an easier time monitoring things. And you see how much filth is all over the lower intake manifold. Well, this, you see from that corner right there. Yeah, see all that grease that's still in there? That was pretty much this whole thing. So, yay for it actually coming clean, but damn it for having to go through this much trouble to clean it. So I'm going to work on that. We're going to set the injectors up for the ultrasonic, and then we're going to try and get what we can done as quickly as we can, because eventually I need to be done with this car so that I can move that car over here to where this car is, so that that car can get here and fixed. I haven't shown anybody, I don't think. It might have been a quick mention, but in the trunk of the Jetta, I actually have a new shifter box. It's not new, but it's new to us. You see all this, like, orangeness? That's the shit that scares me about using plastic parts. This is clearly aged, but if I leave it alone and don't mess with it too much, it might hold me over a little while so that I can at least get a little bit more of this stuff taken care of. I know that I want to do the heater core at some point, so that's going to have me pulling the AC lines loose and doing this and that. I'm probably going to try and order an expansion valve for it as well, so that I can basically get the AC, the heat, the heater box, like the doors themselves, get all those patched up all in one shot, so that way I have working AC and heat. I do believe that I also need a front condenser. I'm just pretty sure, based on looking underneath of the car a few times that it's been up here like this, that I'm pretty sure I see enough rock damage that I can absolutely just assume that there's probably holes from those rock points, because there's bent fins, there's bent like core passages, there's some bends to it. But you see the heater core, according to the guy I bought it from, wasn't leaking, but somehow someone broke that left side off. Excuse me. If you remember, I actually found a piece of it in the auxiliary water pump that came off of here, or I found a piece of it in front of it. Basically, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. So we're gonna keep on trucking. We're gonna go ahead and pull these injectors off, pop the O-rings off of them, and then we're gonna go from there. I may end up having to go get some injector O-rings. If I do, it's no big deal. I'll just go get the Cometic ones so that they're good for ethanol and stuff. Not that I'll be running any ethanol in this, but this is a 94. This car is one of those cars that was not designed to handle 10% ethanol. It just wasn't in the cards. There was no biscuit to risk it for. So as I go through certain things in the fuel system as I can, where it's easy enough to do, a simple O-ring set from Cometic is like $8.99 at O'Reilly's, and that's all. Well, I think that's for 4 injectors, so I'll have to buy two of the kits. But basically, I'll have updated new materials in my O-rings. Let's see if I can find you guys a good place to sit while I mess with this. There's also the first keychain for the car. Amanda made it for me. I love that. Well, it was elementary school for me, but the girls used to do that, and then they'd like give a cute boy they thought was cute a little keychain that they'd made. Look, the damn mosquitoes are already out in full force. Can't you bitches go on vacation for just a day, a morning? So we're going to try and do this in a way where I don't ruin my shirt. One of my viewers, you know who you are. You saw my Dragon Ball Z shirt. Man, I've got so many Dragon Ball Z shirts. I love Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was airing new when I was a kid in elementary and middle school. So all of the new DBZ stuff back then was like day one shit for me. It was amazing. Oh, come on. Well, the inside looks pretty good. That's nice and shiny. That's pretty filthy right there. So we're gonna hopefully address all this. I'm sure there's a right way to do this, and then there's the way that I'm doing it, which is just manhandling it. truthfully, over the years, Volkswagen's done pretty good with their fuel systems. The filtration they picked was pretty good. The fuel pumps are pretty good. They make good pressure from the factory, so you don't have to freak out when you want to run mods. You can actually run stock injectors all the way up to like a 288 cam set or 278. It's one or the other. I can't remember exactly which one it is. Probably the bigger ones. So I'm pretty sure part of the advertisement was that you didn't have to upgrade your fuel. You just had to upgrade your computer chip so that they would maximize. Okay. Whew. So that gasket came off. And the fuel in here doesn't smell terribly good. So it's like, it probably has not been run very much in the last few years. It smells kind of old. So I'm going to try and run what's in it down. And then as it runs down, I'll just put fresh gas in it. And we'll hope and pray for the best, right? Right. But because all of the injector O-rings, except that one, which that was the one that stayed in the head when I pulled the fuel rail, because all that came off nice and easy, I'm not too terribly worried about anything. So we're just going to go ahead and pop all these O-rings off. Yeah, see, they've definitely got some cracking to them. Yeah, they've definitely turned into some kind of plastic almost. So you see how that's got the floating collar? Don't mess that up. Nice. I'm also not super offended if I do end up messing these up, just because I have hundreds of fuel injectors in all my different parts, bins and buckets and stuff, and there's actually not much of a difference in injector between the 2-liter and the VR6. So like in a pinch, you can run a 2-liter injector on a VR6 and get away with it. It's not exactly the same. The VR6 does have larger injectors, but it's only slightly larger, and it's not large enough of a difference for it to be like a turbo option for an injector. Speaking of which, if anybody ever wants to turbo one of these, you can run, what is it, a Garrett GT35X or something like that. It's a little I think it's a T4 turbo with, I think it's like I actually don't remember what size it is now, but I know it fits on these motors really well, and it's a very almost perfect pairing to the VR6. If you Google VR6 turbo, I'm sure you'll really quickly come across the turbo I'm talking about. But anyway, if you want to turbo one of these things, you can run 12 pounds of boost, almost 350 horsepower out of these on like 440cc injectors. And if you want a cheap set of 440cc injectors by 1995 Ford Mustang 5.0 injectors, not the 4.6. If you guys remember, I don't know a lot about American cars, but I know a little bit about the ones from my era. The 95 Mustang was the last year of the 5.0 body. Everything after that became the 4.6 liter. So 440cc injectors from the factory in the Mustang 5.0 for 95. That is confirmed. And they are injectors like these. So they will fit anything from the 90s so long as they look about the same and the O-rings fit. Now, I don't want to put the O-rings in the alcohol, so I'm just going to kind of set them there out of the way. Let's go ahead and ADD the shit out of this for a second. Alright. Cord. Holes. Cord. Goes in the back, y'all. Like so. And then we plug this that girl in. Boop. Bam. And then we're in the money. Alright. So I'm going to have to cut real quick so that I can Google real fast if rubbing alcohol is safe for what I want to do, or if I should just pour gasoline into it. I've seen people even use diesel, which I know diesel's fair, but I don't want to go buy any diesel. So I'm gonna be right back. Things might progress while I'm away. Okay, so after doing the Googles, I've decided Dawn Power Suds you know what? Everybody loves this. Alright. Get some of that in there. Make sure the ball valve's closed. And then I got some hot water. We're going to kick this bad stuff up in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at them suds. Look at them suds. Look at them suds. Alright. We're only doing injectors, so it doesn't have to be crazy. And then we're going to throw some of this shit on there. Yeah, boy, give you some of that purple power. I swear, if this purple power ain't purple, I'm going to be a little unhappy. Oh my God, it's clear. Where's the purpleness? We'll put a little bit more in there. So what my hope here is, between the Dawn dish soap and the purple power, we're hoping to be gentle yet aggressive at the same time. Alright, so we're at 40C, well, 39. Oh, what did we do? I guess, you know what? Since we are doing it with Dawn dish soap, we're just going to go ahead and put all the O-rings in there, and we'll see what happens. Then we're going to put all the metal clips in there and see what happens. Yeah, all these bad boys. Alrighty. That's a bolt right there. And then we'll come back for the injectors. That'll be fine. Super sudsy. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Sorry that I missed putting them in there, but that was actually kind of hot. I wanted to just get it over with. All right. So I think we're going to sit here and let them soak. And then we'll let them dry out real good, and I'll soak them in some rubbing alcohol after this. And what that'll basically do is it'll potentially draw the water back out of them. I'm also using really nicely filtered water, so there shouldn't be any heavy metals or contaminants in here that'll damage anything. But basically, we're just going to let this thing sit and warm up, and then it's going to run. Matter of fact, let's... almost new, internally cleaned, whatever's injectors from 1994. But the internet said don't use anything flammable, don't use anything aggressive, because you don't want to damage the insides. Purple Power is meant for spraying onto any surface just about, minus some painted surfaces. It can cause haziness, or it can cause staining on some black plastics. It's very minor. You can undo it really quickly with a little bit of, schmoo or elbow greasy. But point is, Purple Power, Dawn, two of the easiest chemicals I know that are really tough on grease, but really easy on metals and plastics and other small parts. Just real quick, I wanted to show, after just a few seconds, how clean some of this has already come out. But you see there's still some good smudging and staining and greasing, especially that one there. I just wanted to see. That way we have a before, or something of a before. God, my hand's dirty. Anyway, see you in a bit. So, I took the belt tensioner off, and then found an absolutely filthy, disgusting mess. Just grease every this. Oh my God. It's all over the front of the alternator. It's all over the side of the block. Just, So, I think this is going to end up progressing into me digging out the main crank tool so that I can take the main crank off and do a front main, because that's the only thing over here on this side of the engine that can really leak, unless the oil's from the valve cover leaking for so many years. But if that's the case, that's insane, because somebody messed with this before. Like, there's definitely gray RTV there, and I use orange just because it's what I'd grabbed out of the thing. Anyway, I was trying to get to this bolt here, but clearly I'm going to have to do something about removing the alternator, because I can't let that fly. Damn it. Although, 93, that's it. OG alternator. God, I'm not prepared for this. I was not trying to take all of this apart. Damn it. Well, folks, it has escalated even further. Now, I may just pull the pressure washer out and use my low pressure bit, and I don't know. I'm going to have to take a couple of minutes and think about what I actually want to do now, because what was simple is now not so simple. It has now become pain in the ass. Like, It's all down in that forward section. So something had to have been leaking there, but I can't leave all that. That's got to go. That's got to go. So I guess I'm going to pause the video and do some boring mixing up of some Purple Power and some soapies and water and a bottle, and I'm going to go ahead and start coating all this, and I'm just going to see where I can get with it. I think I'm going to try and find a set of injectors that I can peel apart, though, so I can stuff them into the holes as to not just be directly blasting water and shit in there. Although, again, I don't know how I want to do this, because it's got all the SAI shit, and I'm still torn on whether or not I want to delete all of that or what. I took the EGR valve off because I figured running it through the hot wash would probably be acceptable. Cleaning it out and making sure that the tubes themselves are nice and free flowing, like, it seems like a good idea to me. If I want it to work correctly as it was intended, it seems like a fucking smart power move. So that's what I'm going to try, but it's like, God, fucking seeing all this shit, it's like, I spent $4,500 on a car that's covered in grit, grime, grease, rust, and dust, and it's like, holy shit. We got 6 minutes left. Like, that's what we're looking at. See, it's clean all up top side, but then you get there, underside, and you see it's been built up and cooked into a grease at some point, so active front main, maybe not. Maybe someone was lazy and just didn't want to do the work to clean everything. I don't know, but Purple Power, water, maybe even some Dawn dish soap. I'm going to spray it down and let it soak for a little bit. I guess I'll just see what happens. Worst case, I'll start spraying gasoline all over it, and I'll get it that way. Alright, so we're just going to go for the big bottle. Why not? It's already still got some Purple Power in it. But I'll be back when I've gotten a little further and made some decisions. Ended up having to make it a bucket of water with some soap in it. So far, I've decided that I'm just going to keep spraying this and keep it juicy and try to keep the degreaser on it and let it soak in real good. And then I'm just going to hit it. I'm going to blast it, and I'm going to see what I can get off. I have some gum cutter over there that I might waste on it. I may run to the store. See, I got some electronics cleaner, some stuff. I need to go put that ECM back in the Passat. Yeah, I don't think I have any brake cleaner at the moment, so I'll probably have to go get some. But that shouldn't be too big a deal. Brake cleaner's pretty cheap, all things considered. But even if I have to brake clean it, I'll brake clean it. The point is, I need to get rid of all of this so that I can start watching it and find out what I actually need to do. Thing is, if I'm going to end up removing the main crank pulley, I would like to put a ECS tuning alloy crank pulley back in. Go ahead and start lightening the load from the motor. Start trying to get a little bit of some good sauce going. I have found some things that I'm not a fan of. Right now, we are currently running the belt tensioner right now because it was absolutely just covered and caked and cooked. But I found some busted threads inside of where I guess the previous owner or whoever went to maintenance this didn't realize it. Well, the bolt's inside of there, but it's a left-hand thread. It's not a right-hand thread. So it's lefty-tighty, righty-loosey instead of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So somebody probably over-tightened it and didn't realize it, and then they just kind of shifted the threads. Or they did what I try to do usually, is they tried to use the bolt as a way to detension the tensioner, but there's that long bolt right there actually fits into the threads for it to spread it open so that you can get the belt off. But anyway, long story short, I think I'm going to clean it. I'm not going to take it all apart. I do believe I'm going to take the alternator off, and I believe I'm going to try and clean the alternator just because that makes sense. These alternators do not like grease and oil, especially in the bearings. So if I can get this off and get it cleaned up now before it becomes a big problem, then it'll probably last a few more years without any real issue. I say probably lightly because it's me. It'll probably break the moment I put all this back together and stop charging, but we'll get there when we get there. But there's technically stuff happening. It's just slow because I'm slow, and these cleaned up, but it started knocking some of the paint off. So I'm probably going to take a little bit of tape, and I'm going to tape all these ends, and then I'll respray them black. I think I might brush them off first. I don't know. We'll see. I might actually just take all this off and then lightly hit them with a little bit of oil so that they seal in a little, and I can just run the nice pretty silver, because it'll be silver clean manifold, because I am still intending on taking the lower off. That's still part of the plan. It's just so much work. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I guess we'll mess with this a little bit for at the moment. I need to take this here throttle body off. I really need to clean the intake manifold and get all the grit, grime, grease, and oil out of it. And the only real good way to do that is to soak it. And that's kind of why I made the cooler full of soapy water. That way I can just sit the whole thing in there and let it start to soak. It's much easier to pull the throttle body off when it's not in the car. Just gonna say. It's a little dirty. Cool. Okay, so I should be able to just like that, pull that guy apart. I'll just leave that hose on there. I don't know what size that is. Not that one. Not that one either. Looks like it's a 3/4. Go figure. This is just an intake air temp sensor, and it is covered in oil. Don't want to lose this little doohickey there. Okay. I like to try and get these throttle body gaskets off without hurting them. And just like that, we have a really good factory gasket still. Okay. Sit this bad girl. Did you hear it? Oh. So, we're just gonna look at that. That there is how you get some foaming action in your shit. Alright, so let's see what this turned into. This is hot as balls. Ow. 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 Heh. Heh. I mean, I guess let's give it a quick little... Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. And then we will just sit that back over here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just set it up on the cover. Look at that. Yeah, kind of clean, kind of shiny, kind of nice. Alright, so we're just going to let this bad girl cool off for a little bit. It's been running pretty good for the morning. So we're just going to let her be. As far as this guy goes, this was the main thing that I was trying to get cleaned and done. What? This is the superior way to do it. Might as well share the show, right? I'm gonna make it boring. Might as well let you see what boring really is. A lot of this you really won't ever see, but I don't want it to look bad when you do see it. You know, if I ever have to take this thing in to get worked on, because I can't, I want whoever works on it to have a good time working on my car. I don't want them to think of me as the guy with the shitty, filthy, nasty, ratty car. And I've never really cared much in the past about this, but I care about it more the older I get and the more shit I work on that's just absolutely filthy that shouldn't be filthy. You know, this is just kind of what it takes to get this, you know, to get that clean. You know, a lot of people think it takes chemicals and all this, that, and the other. Yes, chemicals help, but at the end of the day, you want to make something look good, you just have to get out there and put elbow grease into it. It takes time. You got to sit here and scrub and then wedge your brush in there in a way that you can't get it back, and then scrub and do it all over again. Now, I'm not a fan of whatever that is, whatever stained it. Little Randy, you said I had that motor clean enough to eat off of. Shit, until you see the beginning of this video, right? So I think some of this stuff really is just going to have to soak. So we are just going to let it do that. Yeah, we'll let that sit and simmer for a little bit. Should probably go ahead and hook up some of this here water. That way we can cover more of it. I tell you what, man, it's a tough life trying to have a car. Especially if you're trying to have a nice car. Be ready for it to kick your ass for no reason whatsoever.